Okay, hi, we're live. Yes, let's see if this lasts longer than 7 seconds. Hi, I'm a kitty cat. Here's your intro, all that shit. Help desk.
Well, that was succinct and to the point. Good evening, ladies and gents. I am the Internet Help Desk. Thank you for joining us on this little impromptu stream. We've been having a little argument about the temporal causality of Star Trek and where everything falls. So we thought we'd have a little,
Yeah. Yeah.
description. We'll all stick our little ends in and figure out who has a basic understanding of time travel. With me, obviously, we have Tater, who's decided that he is a cat.
I got turned into a cat after I punched a witch in the tit.
Exactly. And joining us, special guest, Cast in the Shadows,
Hello.
co-founder of Generic Villain Publishing. Pretty good. So, Mr. Potato, could you bring up the map I have started creating?
Yes, sir. I will full screen it for you. Now,
Okay, so this is a basic rendition of the timeline as we know it. So on the left, you will see the Enterprise NX-01. This is the launch. Now we know stuff happened before here, like
Yeah.
creation of Starfleet and so on. But we'll consider this to be the start of where
the Federation.
the Federation, where Star Trek needs to be. We go through time, 2265, we have the original series, your classic, Captain Kirk and so on. 2360, we get to TNG. DS9 is in 2369, with Voyager very shortly after. The movie First Contact, 2373, specifically put this here because there is time travel obviously involved in this. And we then have Picard, 2401. I know it's a bit earlier, but season 2 was the one with Q, timeline, Borg, all that rubbish. And then, of course, finishing off Enterprise J, I'm saying as the end. The reason I put Enterprise J there is because we saw the Enterprise NX-01 move forward in time to the Enterprise J, and that was the start of what I believe is the time travel shenanigans.
Well, yes, and see, don't forget season 3 of Enterprise was the Temple Cold War.
Exactly. Even though it finished without the sphere builders.
Yeah.
So I was just going to add into this. My concept is that the whole sphere builder thing, created a spur effectively, which followed exactly the same timeline, just without the sphere builders in.
And
so everything else would have happened normally.
Yeah, but I think we are in the anti-spear builder timeline. Like, that's where we differ.
Yeah. So there's just no sphere builders.
Yeah, I think
anywhere.
I think the Enterprise J that you're looking at now, I think there is an Enterprise J, but not the one that we saw in
the episode.
Yes, I think there. Now, what?
That's what I mean about time just carrying on as normal. Time, all of this would have happened if the sphere builders were in our universe or not. But because they're outside our universe, I don't think that would disrupt the time stream as much as people think it would.
Yeah. So we know that by the time of the Enterprise J, the Xindi were part of the Federation.
Yeah.
Right. But they're not part of the Federation now. Now, in Picard, I want to say season 1, right?
Right.
There was a reference to local Xindi kids who keep annoying them because they live on the outskirts of the Federation, right? By Xindi space, where Riker's daughter was playing this hunting game, and she was being bullied by local Xindi kids. We did not see the Xindi kids, but they were bullying her. So we know they're active in 2400, let's say.
So kind of yeah.
But they are not Federation members because there are no Xindi on any single ship, no Xindi in any of the backgrounds of Picard, and no Xindi names, so no members and no member things. So we know for a fact that they are not a member species.
Yeah.
By the year 2400. But by the year 2600, when the Enterprise J takes place, they have been for at least 300 years, which is not possible. Because that would be 200 years, so that Enterprise J, gone.
Right. Okay. So the Xindi would have joined somewhere around the TOS era.
They would have joined early TOS.
Or in between TOS and TNG to get the timeline right.
Yes.
So okay, so all of this still happened, including getting up to the Enterprise J. Just no sphere builders. The Xindi may have still joined just later on.
Which is weird because in Discovery, we don't know if they had contractual issues or what. There's no Xindi in Discovery.
Yeah, so Discovery would be kind of here. I haven't included.
I'm
Discovery
talking about future
for
Discovery.
good reason.
Right?
Yeah, because they jumped off sort of like 1,000 years in the future. So
yeah, they pissed off 1,000 years into the future.
yeah, so they're kind of over there somewhere. But I do not believe that that's part of the normal timeline. I think
No.
they've.
I will
gone
show
to
you
here.
on my one
Right.
what I think when I explain my one.
Okay. So, right, let's go to me. Now, we know that there was time travel shenanigans. We know TOS had, they went back in time.
Yes.
Was it the Guardian of Forever? Changed the time, balked everything, reset the time, everything went back to normal. I don't think that created a separate timeline split.
That is a closed timeline.
That's it's a closed loop because ultimately nothing happened.
Yeah.
Right. TNG, I think, got away without changing the time. There was some issues in DS9, especially with the tribbles.
Okay.
But time, I believe, just carried on as
There's
normal.
two issues
Yeah.
with time, major issues with time in DS9.
Yeah.
One, you have in DS9, you have the alternate planet where they go back, they die, they create another version where Odo is an elderly man.
Yes. But I believe that was on a closed loop until
That's
it annihilated
also a closed
itself.
loop. Yes. But the thing is, what that closed loop is, that's one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is because they did not continue on in said like alternate universe, right?
Right.
My question is, how do they remember themselves? You get me? They
'Cause
remember.
they lived through it, so they know it was there.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
it's hard because they pull the same thing off with NX-01 in Enterprise.
Yeah.
There's an alternate version of the Enterprise. Cass, what do you think of this?
I mean, I know you and I have talked about it
Yeah.
before, like half or a little over half a year ago. But
Oh, for fuck!
you
Hold
know,
on.
we
Okay, we're okay. We're okay.
dog.
No, that was me swearing.
JT was
Um,
having issues with his internet, I think.
No, it was Steve Mux popped up saying local recording has stopped, but we're still going. We're still going.
okay, good. No, I was gonna say that I've always been on the mind that the TNG movies essentially created a new timeline. Like pretty much
Yes.
everything classic like anything anything pre 1996 Star Trek wise, right? So that's when the first Contact came out.
Yeah.
Just to be precise with it, anything pre 1996, that's its own self-contained thing at this point. That the future projects selectively pull from without thinking about how it makes sense or why it was relevant. Like like in that type of like they're not thinking about it. It's just this is from Star Trek, not realizing how or when or what the significance of that thing they're pulling from is to the setting that they're pulling from.
This was going to be my next point about First Contact, because First Contact was the Borg going back in time,
Right.
and when the Borg, go back in time to before the Enterprise, NX-01, they try to change history by getting the Borg to invade earlier. That doesn't work. The Borgs, explode basically, and they are destroyed. Bits of Borg get left on Earth, and I believe that alters the timeline completely. So,
Well, I mean, the events that we see, like at the end of First Contact, and hence the whole point of the film, outside of the Borg on pre-Federation Earth, was it's First Contact with the Vulcans. Except based on what is described in in various episodes of TOS, we meet the Vulcans in space. We were
Yeah.
already spacefaring, and we just met up with them, and they met up with us, and then we decided to become friends. Like, it
Now,
wasn't.
I
It was a
didn't.
lot less dramatic as what's depicted in the
I haven't
movie.
really
But
seen the TOS series myself.
Sacrilege.
I'll
Um,
explain. I'll explain later.
I've been rewatching it like 3
Yeah.
times over the
Yeah.
last couple.
Well, I remember Spock was talking about early Federation about the time of the Enterprise, right?
yeah.
And said, "Sorry, hold on, my lungs."
All
And
good.
said that we were still using atomic weapons, which the Enterprise was using photonic weaponry at the time. Now, the Vulcans we see in TOS and in TNG are, I want to say, hippie. They kind of remind me of, not hippies, but you know your usual stuck-up clergy members. It's like, it's kind of that arrogant.
The Vulcans are essentially the thing with the original series is that Vulcans, essentially humans and Vulcans are, yes, Spock and Vulcans in general would have like the logic and this and the kind
Yeah,
of. It was never really a set like when Spock would be making quote unquote making fun of what a human whatever. He's never doing it demeaningly. He's doing it in that it's not. At the end of the day, you are alien to him, and he is
yeah.
alien to
So I'm
you.
going to drop this down while we're until we add more to
But
the timeline.
Yeah.
but like one of the things I loved about the original was how we met in space on equal terms as as we both
Yeah.
individually ventured into space.
Yes.
And it was even implied that we got our shit together a little bit longer ago than the Vulcans did.
Which in Enterprise, now I'm going to show my screen.
Yeah.
Because I've called it the fear timeline. Okay?
Okay.
So, here's my logic. So we have the United Earth in 2150, right? And then we have, this is what we know, we have TOS, TNG, and Voyager. Just after Voyager in 2370, we have First Contact at the Battle of 001. They go back all the way to 2360, and that is where the timeline changes, right? You have people who are just escaped a massive world war, World War III, right?
The eugenics wars. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, did they? Wasn't that just World War III at?
Yes, when I'm just in the episode where they talk about that, I think Bones goes, yes, the eugenics wars.
Yeah,
That was in the late 1990s, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah, late 1990s.
Yeah. Now
We never got to
this is what is interesting, okay? Because in Voyager to go to 1997, there's no mention of Khan, no mention of the European conglomerate, no mention of the business, no mention of the wars, anything. The 90s was normal, which is
or the ship that they sent them all on, which
Yeah.
what was the name? The Botany Bay. The
yes,
ship was really named the Botany Bay. Yeah.
that was not there at all. So I'm starting to believe, because the eugenics war has been a problem for since the 90s for Star Trek. Since we hit that has been a problem. So we could call that even an anomaly of where that actually is, because
but I mean, if you really want to get down that route, like when it comes to a lot of speculative fiction, and I know 'cause I'm doing it myself, pretty much whenever you start writing it, it's kind of safe to assume like Star Trek diverges from our timeline in 1966. So anything after it started airing,
what I'm saying is we saw them we saw them during the riots in DS9 with no eugenics war, right?
Yeah, so that's a major. Yeah.
We saw them in 1997 in Voyager with no war. Like San Francisco was untouched. There was no war or anything like that.
Yeah.
Right, and it's one thing if it's like, it's 1999, because they never give a date for the eugenics wars. It was just the late 1990s, so that could have been like 97 to 98, or even less, or even more.
Yeah,
And it's like, okay, so hell, the war ended 3 days ago, but you'd still see the aftermath of it, even if the war is not going anymore.
yeah. Enterprise this is what I'm saying. Due to the Temple Wars in Enterprise, they go to the year 2004, right? They use modern cars and everything and state it is the year 2004, a census
Yeah.
read 2004.
Mhm.
No eugenics war. America is perfectly intact. They state they have dollars. The United States of America in 2004 should be in the heart of the eugenics wars.
Yeah.
There is no eugenics war.
Okay, so there has to be a point at which something went back in time to pre-eugenics wars and altered the timeline so that the eugenics wars didn't exist. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
that's
Okay.
what I'm saying. Now we know that in from Enterprise. Now this is the Enterprise timeline. That in the Enterprise timeline there is the Temple Cold War, which lead on to the Temple Accords and everything like that. So, would you guys, as Star Trek fans, for the Enterprise timeline, right, say maybe somebody went back and stopped the eugenics war and turned it maybe into a eugenics movement?
No, well, I mean, if we're assuming that eugenics was outlawed
Yes.
after a point, so it wouldn't have been a movement. I think, actually, I don't know. I don't think it would have become a movement. I think it would have become,
It would have been like a taboo, you're
yeah,
doing this in secret type thing. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, sure.
I'm
Like it
saying
would have
the
been a
reason why I'm
desperate
saying movement
scientist. Yeah,
is instead of going full blown war, we have people who see what eugenics could lead to. We have the Sungs, right?
right.
Who appear in Enterprise. If they appear in Enterprise, and we have people seeing them, seeing how aggressive they are, seeing how dangerous these super soldiers are, they're like, nah, we're done with this. We're sending these off.
Yeah,
These and Arnian Sung, who's the ancestor of Data's creator,
yeah.
turned around and stated that he knew Khan. He worked with Khan. So, Arnian Sung was alive at the same time as
As
Khan.
Khan and all the others.
Yeah.
How many of them survived? That was 72?
Oh, wait, sorry, wait.
No, sorry. No, in the original episode. Sorry, I'm thinking back to in Space Seed. Yep.
In
Episode Space
Space
Seed.
Seed 72.
It was
Yeah.
72. Yeah,
Now, there were 72 of them survived. And eight of Khan Sung's children, right? So let's say the Sung variants. 8 of them survived. So that is less than 80. I have in my, let's say, headcanon, right? I am saying someone went back and possibly led a rebellion or something or an attack force because we saw in Picard they went to 2022, the year no different timeline, like straight 2022 in France, in Europe. They went there and there was a normal police car. They're like, oh, this is annoying, like in Chateau Picard. That wasn't damaged by the eugenics. The house was abandoned during World War II, not during the eugenics wars. They could have thrown that in. They could have said the house, but they didn't. They said World War II. It stayed within the family. They went over to Rene Picard in like some part of America, I want to say San Francisco, who was leading off a new engine that was going to inspire her relatives to go on and help found the Federation, right?
yeah.
The Picards. And none of it was, the eugenics war is not there. So I'm starting to say, in Enterprise, the eugenics war didn't happen, it was a movement.
Nice concept.
I mean, it's like I'm at the point that it's been 30 years at this point. It's kind of a both in anyway.
Yeah.
In the it's like, at what point is it just it's bad writing, and you can't really you can't make it make sense. But at the same time, it is a fun, I guess, thing for those that
Yeah.
are trying. But
Yeah.
I mean, the whole eugenics wars thing was actually, and it's an interesting concept of the fact you just
It
end up
is.
making super soldiers, and of course that was then
well,
the
not the
basis.
super soldiers. It was to make Supermen in general. The whole thing was to
Yeah.
make
Oh,
a better
supermen in general,
humanity,
a better
not
quality
just
of person.
better
Yeah,
soldier,
yeah. So,
a
and of
better
course,
species.
it's the whole reason why the Wrath of Khan exists.
Yep.
So,
That's
in that
why
respect,
Enterprise, to me, because I believe in the original timeline up here, right,
right.
where we have TOS, TNG, the eugenics wars did happen, except Voyager went back. And when we see in Voyager, when they went back to 1997, we are not seeing Voyager from their timeline. We're already seeing the effects of the Temporal Cold War.
So the temporal Cold War went back far enough in time to actually alter enough to effectively cancel the eugenics wars.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
They went back maybe to the 1800s, right? They went back. We don't know how far the eugenics, like, let's say the 20s. That's when the real world eugenics movement began. Let's just stay there.
1920s, I
Yeah,
think.
they would have gone back, changed something, or killed someone. Therefore, the future eugenics war didn't exist, but we still know that Khan existed. So, and in
Hang on, if we're talking
Picard,
if we're talking about something that happened that altered the course of history, in the 1920s there was a flu pandemic.
yes,
So it is entirely possible the eugenics wars didn't happen because someone came back in time and gave us flu.
well, here's the rub. In Picard, the fight in towards the end of I want to say season 2,
Yeah.
right? We saw Sung, like the earliest ancestor of the Sungs we've seen, taken out of a folder in, let's say, 2022 that states Project Can.
So the timeline's been shifted. So it
The
either
timeline has
pushes it
been
forwards.
severely shifted.
Yeah.
Now, in Discovery, we saw in 2057, it was World War III. As there was a village taken from World War III, they stated World War III, right? 2057, and taken to this alternate planet and the beginning of Discovery Season 2. There was the people who were living there and everything. No mention of the eugenics war.
Okay.
So, now, back. So, on my timeline, what I'm saying is we have people who, like young admirals and people like that, the people whose kids and when they were growing up would have gone on to found the United Earth, because that just happened, right? They have now been invaded by, to them, they met aliens, right?
Right.
And the ones who were around the landing site said to them, they would have said, guys, we were there. There's other aliens out there who came and attacked us. They blew us up. They attacked us. They launched missiles at us. There were these robo people and people from the future, because we know in the Enterprise they stated that people didn't believe the guy, sorry, what's the name of the guy who created Cochrane?
Cochrane.
They didn't believe Cochrane, his story about the future time travel people, when he disappeared. Because he disappeared. So when he went missing, they didn't know what happened, but he stopped it before Jonathan Archer's father passed away, talking about the future people said he was drunk, he made it up. Right?
Yeah.
But so we know that he was mentally, it was burnt into his head, first contact. So you have all these people, and we saw a couple of kids running around who would have seen the bombs and everything like that. So they would have gone terrified. They're like, lads, we need to get our shit together. Right?
Yeah.
Then you have Enterprise in 2156. In Enterprise, you have the Vulcans are dickheads to them. They are repressing them. They are keeping them held back in their technology, in their advancement. They struggle by 2150, let's say 2150, right? I forget the exact year, to break Warp 2. The Vulcans were trying to stall them and stop them, right?
Right.
And they're like, we finally broke Warp 2. Here is the problem. The Kelvin timeline in the Kelvin timeline, we have the USS Franklin, which is the first Warp 2 ship. They state that. In Enterprise, we see a different Warp 2 ship. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
So, what is it? Did they stick an engine while they were developing the NX-01? Did they stick the Warp 2 engine into ships? Would you guys think they would have done that, or?
No, because the whole Kelvin timeline thing, I don't think the Kelvin timeline has anything to do with the normal Star Trek timeline. Because, I mean, you've written it there. Spock leaves, gets chucked back in time for the whole Kelvin thing.
Yeah.
Which is a complete altered reality, because you now have someone extra appearing in the timeline who shouldn't be there and can't get back.
How would you explain the Franklin, though? One by they have never seen Enterprise. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. But again, it's that butterfly effect. You create a small effect somewhere, it alters something
Not
else.
not only that, it's almost like butterfly effect continued, so it's like temporal
Yeah.
contamination, right?
Yeah.
Which is the point, which is why you have the prime directive, the temporal prime directive, and that type of. The Orville has it too, if I recall, because they've tackled this type of. Forget the similar type of stories. They literally tackled the problem we're talking about in an episode, and it was actually really well done.
Yes.
But it's like one of the things that I think you just brilliantly asked was, how do you explain any of this crap to someone who's going to watch it for the first time, who's interested in Star Trek, and you go, oh well, I'm just going to watch all the series, right? They're all part of the same thing, because not realizing all the continuities and this and that, and this isn't a Star Trek unique problem.
Yeah.
And it's got to the point where that's why I brought up 1996 kind of the cutoff date.
Mm-hmm.
Could
it's at some point you kind of have to be like, well, is this, because I think with Enterprise isn't a bad show, but it's not a great Star Trek show, if that makes sense.
I have a question for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
What if Spock didn't only time travel? What if Spock entered a brand new timeline? You get me? Like Spock, we have the Terran universe. What if Spock went into another universe?
So a complete
different universe.
I've said that for a while. Because of everything that happened with Spock traveling back in time, there was so much there that wasn't the same. Personally, if you consider the fact that the timeline carries on as it is, you get to First Contact.
Yes.
They then travel back in time with Borg. Borg get destroyed, but Borg end up on Earth.
Yeah.
And we know that the Borg then infected a ship in the NX-01 timeline.
We also know from...
But consider this. There is now technology available that would not have been available beforehand.
Yeah.
If Starfleet now utilized that technology, that would create a branch timeline, which everything would then look slightly different, and it would all be advanced slightly further than it was
which would have led
beforehand, which would have, I think, put us in the Kelvin timeline. Because the technology was the same, but different. It was more advanced for, the age.
So here is a fact. In Discovery, in the future, right?
Yeah.
They state, I just want to say I didn't see this, I've just seen clips, I didn't watch it.
No one did.
That's why I got cancelled. So Daniels is an old man in Discovery. He is the old man with the glasses in Discovery in the future. Now, it is also stated that he's shown different clips when he's talking about the Terran Empress losing her molecular mobility, right? Mm-hmm. He states, we brought a young man over from another universe where Vulcan was destroyed after a Romulan went back and went rogue, right? That is the Kelvin timeline. Mm-hmm. He said universe. You get me? If it was another timeline, that's why I'm saying. That's why I'm now thinking Spock didn't go back in time. He broke through to another universe because Go ahead.
Yeah, that's why that's why I've been phrasing things the way I have, because
Yeah.
it's more like, okay, you have class, if you want to call it classic Trek, old Trek, like whatever term you want to use, but you have the original Star Trek. I don't mean the original series, I mean, like,
Yeah.
1966 through 1996, right? That 30 years of Star Trek
Yeah.
proper, right? True Star Trek, true to Roddenberry's vision. Continuity. Is it super clean and perfect? No, but is it uh, more than serviceable? Absolutely.
Yeah.
To the point where we're having this conversation, right? And then you have post 1996 Star Trek, and this is probably the same exact thing with Marvel, because it's the same exact cutoff year, 1996. But with Star Trek, you have the TNG movies, which
Get yourself
we're
off the
taking a
screen, Taylor.
lot of. Yep. There's a Okay, that's a weird image. You have the TNG movies, which took a lot of creative liberties with Star Trek as a whole, like as an IP, and also with the characters that the movies are centered around. Although don't get me wrong, they're not all terrible, right? I love that they got Riker and Troy tying the knot, and other aspects of the TNG movies, but the
Yeah.
execution of everything left a lot to be desired.
Sorry about that, guys. My internet crashed
Oh,
again.
that's all right. We
That's all
carried
right.
we carried on without you. You're fine. I
Yeah.
Thank
was
you.
just looking at your weird face on the screen.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
wondering why, like, suddenly we're just seeing that,
Yeah.
which it's how I feel
Yeah.
the audience is probably feeling right now. But
Yeah.
you have that, the movies kind of the TNG movies started all that.
Yeah.
And then with Enterprise, it was kind of, okay, well, now we're making a show based on TNG movies rather than
Yeah.
the shows that predate, like the original shows, whether it be
Yeah.
the original series or TNG. And it goes back to what I was saying, where they pluck things here and there,
Mm.
not understanding the context of those things that they're plucking, right? Not understanding where they fit in the timeline, what's the context of it, what's the significance of it, and this thing, that thing, right?
Yeah.
So
So yeah, that's
I'm calling the Enterprise timeline the Fear timeline, right?
Yeah, you said.
Yeah.
yep.
So you have the Temper Cold War, but that's not what the people saw. We're just going to go for what the people saw, right? You have the Earth Romulan War, just after the end of Enterprise. Then you have the Xindi War. Then you have the Borg problem. Like, they wouldn't have known what it was, but they would have seen it happen. You can't keep that shit quiet,
Yeah,
right?
they would know of the Borg in some capacity, which obviously is a far cry from the original timeline, where
Yeah.
they did not know anything. That's the whole point of Q2.
So we then have these people who are like, lads, we need to get our shit together. We need to get more militarized. You have people who are disheartened because at the end of Enterprise Season 4, people are already pissed off and angry and racist, right? Instead of just the Vulcans.
Yeah.
So they then go and they're like, instead of taking it one bit at a time, having like clunkier ships, what we see in TOS, we now see the Hot Rod Enterprise of, like, we see the pizza ship of Discovery with their like spore drive technology. We see the Hot Rod Enterprise of Strange New Worlds, where they're like more. I want this. They're clearly more advanced than in the original timeline.
Yeah. That's what I mean. There was some extra technological advancement happened. So someone must have gone back. Could some of that have been related to Star Trek 4?
Possibly.
Yeah, because Scotty left them with the formula for clear aluminium.
Well,
With
to be fair, I will say I do think that was a tongue-in-cheek joke of, he knew this was the guy that invented it.
Yeah.
yeah,
I got.
Like,
I
I'm
get
one of
that
those.
from
Like,
it.
I think he's just screwing with Bones, because of course he is.
Yeah.
I think. I think your man may have been close to inventing it, and he's like, you know what? Let's just fucking get you there. Here's the code. You
Right, because, like,
Yeah.
okay, great, you granted it in the formula, but look, when the F-16, just for some context, it was originally going to be a delta wing fighter jet.
Yeah.
That's when the wings are swept forward,
Yeah.
and that would have made it probably the best jet in the world. Problems with the material science at the time was not up to the task. Now we do have the material science for that, but we've decided to go in a completely different direction with
Yeah.
our fighter jet design philosophy. So taking that and which came out around the same time, and applying it to Star Trek, even if you gave him the formula and say, 1960, whatever, what is he going to do with it? Like, he'll try to work towards making that formula a reality, but like the material science wouldn't have been there yet. You know what I mean? Like, how do you just make it off the fly? I think he definitely had the ability to do it. He's probably close to it.
Yeah.
In the Kelvin timeline as well, we see they're more advanced. Like, they can warp from ship to ship in warp, which they can't even do in TNG.
You mean transport?
Yeah.
Transport a ship in... Yeah, because that was the whole... Scotty spent a very long time trying to figure out the calculations needed to transport to a ship in warp, and Mr. Spock just memorized them and gave them to Scotty to figure out later on, who figured out space to be the thing that was moving. So, in theory, that's a loop that was always going to happen anyway.
It is. So, then in Discovery, they go 1,000 years into the future, but here's the problem with forget the 1,000 years because we're talking about Picard, right?
Yeah.
We now have Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks.
Yes.
In Lower Decks, at the end, they turn around and they explore the multiverse. Okay? They're like, they give this speech like, we are not going studying stars, we're going studying other realities. Because they're together, that means that that Discovery and Strange New Worlds are both in a timeline where they end up by the 2380 exploring other realities, right? From that, where they explore other realities, Spock leaves in 2387, which I believe is the Enterprise timeline, right?
Right.
Where he leaves from, because he is there and he's talking, where it's like, oh, the Hoba star, and this is a slight issue. The star that explodes is a different star than Picard, right?
Yeah.
So, either the writers borked up there, you get me?
I think the writers did balk up, because there's also other stuff like in the Kelvin timeline. Getting to Vulcan only takes a couple of hours.
Yeah, the ships are much faster.
Yeah, exactly. Because it used to in TOS it took days from Federation space to get to Vulcan.
So what I believe happened, right, is we know that in what we're used to, like warp travel in Star Trek, is transwarp. That's what they're using. In Star Trek, right? So this transwarp, they would have just called it warp. I don't think the writers are like, oh shit, this is pre-transwarp. Even in Enterprise, they're like warp 1, warp 2, warp 12. Because in TOS, if I'm correct, didn't they have like warp 20 and warp 18 and 15 and things like that?
Oh boy, that is a lore drop. Yes, they had. They didn't have impulse, or rather, they did, but it was only for maneuvering. All speeds were measured in warp, and it went up to sort of like warp 15. It was only once they finished TOS that they actually unified, saying that it was an exponential curve, and warp 10 was infinite speed, and anything below light speed was classed as impulse.
Yes.
So yes, that was writers playing fast and loose. You also met and fought other ships at about warp 2 or warp 3, which
the Vulcans in Enterprise were warp 7. Stated they had warp 7 ships, and so did the Andorians.
So that's using what they class as the new warp, the unified warp scale.
Yeah. Which means that in the Enterprise timeline, they're already using the unified warp scale.
Yeah.
Which, it's a much cleaner warp scale, but it's not accurate.
It might be one of those weird ones that, it wasn't necessarily us that came up with the unified warp scale. It's like, temperature. You can ultimately have any class of temperature you want. We know, America have temperature which is based around the human body, which is 0 is cold for the human body, 100 is hot for the human body. Whereas in England, it actually goes back to sort of like the idea of the university, where it becomes a scientific standard. So 0 is freezing point of water, 100 is boiling point of water.
Yes.
So, but ultimately you can make a temperature gauge from anything on any standard. It's only when you interact with other places that you say we need to create a standard that that everyone can understand. Because if I say it's 85 out here, someone might say that's cold, someone might say that's hot, and some might say, why are you not dead yet?
But yes, but I get that. But the thing is, if you go back, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's say calendars, right? If you go back in time, and you're talking to someone in 1121, right? And you're like, oh, by the year 3000, this will happen. And they're like, oh my God, how many days is that? Like, well, a leap year. What's a leap year? Because
Yeah.
they don't have the Gregorian calendar.
Yeah.
There, the leap year is not unique to the Gregorian calendar.
Yeah, but the people where it was wouldn't have known what.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
it's on many calendars. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Yeah. It was the whole. Yeah.
But you get what I
It's
mean.
not as hard to explain, but
Yeah. The standard.
it's
It was the
the same thing as
standardization
like
time.
yeah, I would say it's more so. I think like having like if you have okay, you know what? Perfect. I can bring up spot in the episode where I'm blanking on the name of it, but they go in the original series. They go to a planet that the colonists should be dead. There's like some radiation
Yeah.
bombardment that prevents animal life, but realizes that the spore, like the flora on the planet, creates these spores that once infect the fauna, aka the human beings, and seemingly only human beings, only intelligent life, or humanoids, I should say.
Oh,
It
that's the.
gives
Yeah.
them the immunity. Yeah, the one where like the guy like regrew a part of his appendix or something,
That's the
right?
one. Yeah.
Yeah. So Spock like gets emotions, and at the
Yeah.
end of the episode, when Spock's talking to his old girlfriend and they're saying goodbye, she goes, "I don't even know your name," and he goes, You don't have the ability to pronounce it."
Mm.
Something kind of like that, but
Yeah, and in the Discovery timeline, like right in Discovery, we have.
probably put it more.
Oh, sorry.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just laughing at how we're probably putting more thought into this than anything in Discovery.
Yeah,
Anything the
no,
writers did.
this is why they should hire us. For one, they could give me little fishy snacks.
Hey, I told you that idea I had about writing
Yeah.
a letter to David Ellison since he bought Paramount. So
Absolutely, and I think you should.
we should get some. Yeah, so just for context, anyone watching, and also for HelpDesk, I had
Well,
this idea since Ellison bought Paramount, and now if he now
Yeah.
Warner Brothers, that we have a once in a lifetime rare opportunity, even if it's like a delusional pipe dream. Better to try than regret not.
I think you should.
Can write a letter of, I don't know how to word it necessarily, but writing a letter to either the company or to Ellison with a giant petition of as many people signatures that we can get. We are the fan base, we are the customers of the things that you just bought, and we want you to make these improvements so that we can buy it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in Discovery, right? Like another break from the timeline. Spock has space dyslexia.
Sorry, that doesn't sound. That's never gonna not sound ridiculous. What is space sticks? Do I want to know?
Okay. Hold on to your ears, because your brain is going to cry at you. You may forget the English language. Right? So, there is a code that keeps going into Spock's head that he keeps writing backwards when he's introduced in Discovery. And Michael Burnham states, well, Spock has a form of dyslexia.
That's Michael Burnham, Spock's sister.
Yes, named after her father because Shaniqua Marin Green believed that daughters could be named after their fathers, while sons could be named after their mothers.
Right.
Hi, this is my son. This is Chloe, and this is my daughter, Kevin.
It's my daughter, Steve.
I'll do better. This is my daughter, Dick, and this is
Like, But
And this is my son Dolores. Sorry.
God, can you imagine that? Sorry, a 6-foot guy with a beard, sort of like just beating people up outside of a bar. You'll tell
Hey, who's
everyone
that
the
guy?
day.
What's your name?
You tell
Dolores.
everyone you got hit by Cassandra.
there is a guy I genuinely knew years ago, whose name, like, we were like, oh yeah, what's your name? Like, when we were actually getting to know each other backstage, right? On things like, on the game. It was like when we were playing PlayStation. And he's like, oh, I don't like my name. My parents named me after someone, but they accidentally gave me the wrong name. It's like, oh, what's your name? Courtney.
I knew a guy called Kylie. He went by the name Kai. His parents were interesting.
So
I know someone whose last name is Courtney, but his first name is not Courtney, so it doesn't really matter. But he's Mr. Courtney, so that's.
yeah.
God, can you imagine being called Courtney?
I mean, if he had a daughter that he decided to name Courtney, then yeah, that would be the case. He did not do that though, so.
I just the same thing with you, or it's the same weird thing that's with two gay guys. Hi, this is Steven and this is Steven. Like, why?
Luckily enough, we don't have to worry about that.
So, back
I
to
do know someone who married. I do know someone whose name is Daniel, and they married, and their wife's name is Danielle. So
You see,
Yeah.
that's just cool.
and
I
their
like
their child's name is Nathaniel.
that.
no,
Danny
I think they
boy.
realized that how stupid that would be, and they decided to give their children very different names. Thankfully,
Daniel Jr. Stranger
Exactly.
things have happened.
different enough. Yeah.
Son's name is Nathaniel. Daughter's name is Natalie. Okay.
But
So-
back to
Yeah, Discovery.
right.
So
because-
we have
right. We were making fun of how
Burnham.
the main character's named
Yes.
after a food, but it's a chick. Right. Sorry.
Michael Burnham was adopted and raised on Vulcan, and has emotions when she cries every 5 minutes.
Right, because they turned Star Trek into a soap opera.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Why didn't she warn everyone about Cyborg?
Because she didn't know about Cybok.
Oh, for God damn it. Okay, carry on.
No, it is stated in that she never knew about Cybok.
Spock's family is
Reed.
twisted. Carry on.
Spock has the last name in the Discovery timeline, by the way.
Spock is his last name.
No, it is not.
Okay.
Hold on.
Please don't try and pronounce it.
Hold on. Okay, hold on.
Literally Mr. Spock.
Okay, hold on.
Oh,
So
Lieutenant Commander or Commander Spock.
I'm going to write this down because Cast in the Shadows, you may have a better chance of pronouncing it.
Okay. Is it true? I do speak Vulcanian.
Yeah, no. And okay, it's going to be under my name.
I'm in the group. Hold on.
Yeah, just look at the screen. It's just bigify me.
Oh,
Where do you go?
on Evie Mux.
Yeah.
The chicken, the gay. So chicken, the gay.
I don't see it. Oh, I see. You changed your name. Sorry.
That is Spock's family name now.
Then why was she called
What?
Mikey Spock?
That
I
yeah.
don't even know. I don't.
Shy.
The problem with this is, even if I were to use the, like, I don't know what sounds they're trying to have them make. Like, I think we're going by English here. It'd be like what, like chicken, the guy that still doesn't
That's
make
what
any.
I'm thinking because it looks like it's based off a real language. Like the
Yeah, well, to be fair, I could
Yeah.
write something that also looks like it's based off a real language, but it can be complete gibberish.
I know, hence the Welsh language, but it looks like it's
Or French, but
French doesn't exist. It's just a Spanish propaganda. It looks like Tagai, right? Tagai. That looks like it's based off of Takei, like George Takei, right?
right.
Right.
Now Tachen, that looks like it could be Shichen, which I've heard Klingon saying Tachen, to Chen before.
Yeah.
It looks like what the fuck, guys? Did you just like go, okay, lads, we need some random letters, vowels?
Do you reckon they just sat there and just went, what sounds alien?
Pretty much.
Ch-chen-ch-kai.
I mean, look,
Yeah.
to be fair, as a sci-fi writer myself, I do the same thing, but the difference is
Yeah.
that I actually take, like, okay, I need something that sounds sci-fi, and if I don't
Yeah.
just come up with a sound, if even, let's say I do come up with a sound, I will then check different languages that I do know, and see if I can actually derive, like, change that sound to match a real language so that people that aren't
Yeah.
me know, oh, it's derived from this thing, so this way they have a frame of reference for it.
Yeah.
I have
Versus
in the
whatever that was.
in the fun story, in the one I'm doing for fun, I have one of the main characters has a last name. His last name is literally broken up. If you translate it into English, it's like the Dutch way, right? And the German way. His name is split up, so it's like Latkiana. That's how people hear. But it's actually like Latki and Anna, right? Lat means from, Ki is the island, and Anna was the city that his family used to rule from. So if you read it out, it's like his name is from the city on this island. That's what his name actually means. You get me? And that's how his last name is. This doesn't make fucking sense, though.
Nope, it doesn't.
So Spock has the last name Cybok. Oh, Cybok also. I never seen him, but Cybok appeared in Strange New Worlds. We hang out with Kirk. Kirk has been on the Enterprise, by the way.
Yep.
Question, guys, what was Kirk's rank before taking command of the Enterprise?
It was lieutenant, wasn't he? Because he was he a lieutenant on the Farragut? Oh no, he wasn't on the Farragut, was he? Picard was on the Farragut.
Yeah, in Discovery, he is already a captain.
Yeah, he shouldn't be captain by that point.
His brother works on the Enterprise, Sam. Already before him,
Right. His brother, I remember the episode in TOS where his brother dies to those weird giant flying pimples.
Yeah, that tends to happen.
Yeah.
Puberty's weird.
But it's okay. He got a Vulcanian brother out of it.
Yay!
And his nephew was okay. So.
Well, that's good. But yeah, no, Kirk is not. From what I've seen, Kirk is not personality-wise our Kirk. You know, like the charismatic, horny guy. He's more Picard. He's very stern, very, you need to get this by the book. That's not Kirk. Yeah. Kirk is like, I see a rule, I will break it. Kirk is the man who turned around and stated, we will let the Klingons die. Let them die.
Let them die. Oh yeah, that was good.
Like, he is the man who turned around and stated that in a room that is being monitored, by the way. But, like, and then with them, now, that brings on to Picard, right? Because if they're exploring the multiverse, what happened? Like, something would have happened between, like, the 30 years that in Picard, people have started smoking again. They have started using money and taking drugs all the time. People are incredibly unhappy. The news agency, which was a thing for Fox, but don't mind that. The news agency pretty much hates Picard. They're like, oh, Picard, you did this. Like, you didn't save the Romulans. And he's like, oh, I couldn't save the Romulans. You're the Federation. You don't have to save the fucking Romulans. Their star exploded. They have ships, yeah? Could they not have detected this? Oh. It is also stated that Romulans do not use AI.
Actually, that is something that goes back.
Meanwhile, I can disprove that entire thing with one line from the episode with the Defector in season 4.
TNG episode.
Yeah. I know a host of cyberneticists that would love to take you apart.
You see,
Does not sound very appealing, nor should it.
Yeah.
Cyberneticist, yes, robot, but with the whole idea of artificial intelligence,
Because they
admittedly,
want the Romulans want to make their own data. They see how effective he is in combat, and they figured why not. The fact that what
But
they have
AI,
the Pasha Yar's daughter when she shows up as a villain.
yeah,
there's,
'Cause the fact that you meet her like for the third time, and she finally meets Data. Like, so this is the android I've come to know in battle.
yeah,
yeah,
but here's
It's
the
like,
thing as well. It's stated, I forget which one, that their ships are also analog. They don't have. Oh yeah, it's stated in Picard that their ships are analog because they don't trust artificial intelligence because the cult of the crazy women
yeah.
gather around and start worshipping and
AI
like
will destroy the world, a university thing. Yes.
yeah. And
Oh god.
so Picard the Romulans never used AI, which is like I'm sorry. So you mean they never did forget AI for like beings or
Yeah, you
whatever?
wouldn't need your ships to be analog though. That actually sounds like a storyline they stole from Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah. Also,
uh,
the
it's
class.
a more it's a more direct ripoff of Major Grin, the YouTube channel Major Grin did
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah, because I also picked up on this at the time when it was coming out, where they just rip off Mass Effect and somehow Hellboy in 2004 and like a bunch of other movies, like visually as well as narratively.
I do love
Um,
Major Grin. He's
he's
very
very funny.
astute. Yeah.
So
Yeah, but
in
yeah,
in it, they turn around and they with the so they bring back the Enterprise D in Picard.
Yes.
Now, how they do that is the the hull is from the USS Challenger.
Yeah.
Okay, which okay, sorry, no, I was going to get that confused with the Odyssey for a second. The Challenger is the hull, and the nacelles come from someone else, and the saucer section is the Enterprise, right?
Yeah.
That is at that stage the last analog ship in the Federation,
Yeah.
which is like, what's their definition? The problem is, what's their definition of
I think
analog?
in that case it was independent computer control rather than being
Yes,
cloud based.
which is sadly Borg based. Like it's a that was applied from the Borg to take
Yes.
over.
Yeah.
Now, I have to ask. Now we're seeing the pushback against like AI and against control, right? Then after having so many wars, the Dominion War and everything like this, where everyone was ruled by the founders, right?
Uh-huh.
Would there not have been a major pushback from the Admiralty, from the captains, are like, I'm not bringing my ship in to have my ship controlled by someone far away. If I need to make a split decision, like a command decision that goes against the Federation, like that goes against the Admiral's orders, I need to be able to do that. If it's a command, what is the point of having a captain
See,
at
I
that
think
stage?
the whole concept of the remote control, I don't think it was to supplant. I think it just went wrong and it was put in badly. We've seen that with AI stuff now. People just putting it in everything. I've got a
So
Copilot button on my paint program.
well, yeah, it's and this is something that Star Trek tackles pretty much 5 times per season.
Yeah,
Back
yeah,
when Star Trek had 26 episodes per season, um, and that is now I'm getting into that whole thing with the streaming versus regular
I know.
TV.
yeah,
But this is something that I enjoy tackling myself, and good sci-fi used to tackle a lot, which is
mm,
the over reliance on technology and kind of how you need to have your ethics continue with your technological
yeah,
advancement, right? The whole point of the Prime Directive. That's literally the underlying principle of why the Prime Directive exists, right? You don't
Yeah,
want to play God. You don't want to have you want to give someone that isn't ethically aware enough about the technology, the tool,
yeah.
who for all intents blow up their entire world, but at the same time has this power to save their entire world.
yeah.
It goes
But
back to the M5 computer.
Right.
I
I
mean,
was thinking,
that's the first one I can think of in TOS. So the
Yeah.
computer in charge of the Enterprise to make all of the decisions that ends up just wanting to survive, and the only way it can do that is by attacking everything.
But you could have a brilliant, and I was saying this to Help Desk, right? You could have a brilliant episode about debating. Like, say for talk's sake, there's a captain who was at war. Like, say half his race got wiped out by this one planet that's asking for help, begging for help, right? They're like, please, we need help. The Federation is there, and you have the captain sitting in his desk with his hand on the fire button. He's like, even say you have him close to falling. At one stage, he takes complete control of the weapons, activates all the weapons. His first officer has to pull him off. He's like, I know you were there. He goes, no, you did not see what I saw. You did not see what those bastards did to my wife, my children. You didn't see what they did to our once amazing, like, say, even in Empire, right? You didn't see how they burned, how the children screamed. And he could have him and goes, yes, the way you're talking about them now, is like, say this guy lived over 100 years, right? Because the way you're talking, the children who survive will talk about you in the same way, and you have a captain scream like in the back, like, out of frustration. But you could have a brilliant like episode where they it's should I, should
There's,
I?
it sounds peculiar. I have a feeling. I mean, if you think about Deep Space Nine did
Yeah,
an episode like that, was it in the Silver Moonlight?
Pale Moonlight.
Pale Moonlight. In the Pale Moonlight, it was also in season 5 of Babylon 5. They also did very similar with the President and the Scorched Earth. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's a good storyline.
It is like. There's even people now who would like scorch earth other people.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that's a question that comes up a lot. I think everyone has that question at least once. If it came down to it, would you push the button?
I mean, help us. Look at how hard both of our countries had to solve. Like, so me and you could be friends. Like by now. You get
Yeah,
me?
we can blame TNG for that as well with the unification of Ireland.
Oh no, sorry, that's still banned.
It's still banned. At one episode, we're not allowed to watch it in either country now.
Yeah, yeah, I saw it in America. By the way, I watched it. Cass, did you know that there's episodes of Voyager and TNG that are banned in Ireland?
I did not know that, but I'm not surprised at all. And
All the episodes of
I'm willing
little.
to bet I know exactly which episodes are banned on TNG.
Oh yeah, the one where they were talking about the unification of Ireland through violence.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
the one with Beverly Crusher being kidnapped by the terrorists on
Yeah,
whatever that
yeah,
Federation, not Federation planet, but like a contender planet that's still trying to sort it crap out
yeah.
and has that.
That's the one.
but then all the Fairhaven episodes of Voyager are banned.
Which one was Fairhaven?
Oh come on! This has
Oh, sorry.
Jesus,
Sorry.
welcome.
That's the holodeck one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like I'm welcome now to the village, Archie, with your eyes as I. For I'm not even that Irish myself.
I'm also willing to bet that the episode in season 2, it used to be called Attack of the Clones, but I think they renamed it since then retroactively because of
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm blanking on the new name, but the one where they have like the society of essentially like the completely polar opposite societies that stem from the same colony ship, same colony ship, and they're trying to.
oh god, yep, that one's banned.
Yep, figured it out. Yeah, it's a good episode.
No,
It's
it's
one of
not.
those.
It pisses me off. Oh, help us! Like I don't see anything wrong with that. I'm just saying. I'm like, don't you?
Oh, the advert. The episode's fine to be sure.
All the fucking and oh my god! But that now with Picard, you have them in Picard. Q changes the timeline, and this is what I'm saying. Q says when he's dying, right? Uh, I am going to give Picard a present, and this is where I believe Picard has another temporal break. Okay,
Right.
I believe the present is his son.
Right.
Okay, so Picard through season 1 had essentially adopted, but not adopted, a Romulan kid, right?
Yeah.
We saw him afterwards. His when he was in the Nexus, his craving for children.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds wrong. Uh,
He wanted to be a dad, but his career got in the way. That's what you
exactly,
mean. Yeah.
that's the way, rather than his craving for children while working on the BBC. But
That's not a
anyway,
nice way to call your wife. Sorry.
but he turned around and he had a craving ever since he was the last Picard. Then Q like clicked. He never used to say, "Oh, I don't have any, like, I don't have anything, any, like, what are you on about? Like, what's the gift?" Season 3, Picard has a son. Ooh, spoiler. Anyway. So season 3, Picard ends up with a kid, right?
Yeah.
25 years, same bullshit. He's English. Oh yeah, he kept the accent because he went to school in London, right?
Right.
Um, right. Yeah. Okay. Whoop de doo. Tatty tee. So I believe that Q retroactively created another timeline where Picard got Beverly knocked up and created the son. Because the thing is, after he gave him the gift, there was a white light, and they were back in the they were back, and the Romulan kid wasn't dead, right? Spoilers for a show barely anyone cared about.
I'm going to be honest. I think I've seen enough of Picard, but it's entirely been in YouTube Shorts.
I have seen all of Picard.
I have
Oh.
only seen the first episode when it was free on YouTube at the time it came out, and then from there I've pretty much watched it through the Red Letter Media Review
Oh,
and
actually,
Major Doom videos because
yeah. It was
yeah,
not
it was
good. Right.
no,
Okay.
no.
This has always bugged me, or rather just pissed me off about Picard. Right. So he's dying in the first series, and he gets
Yes,
transferred into an android body.
yes.
Why didn't he
Which they
get
then programmed to have a expiration date on.
an expiration date? Right. But why didn't he just go into a younger body, which was fitter and
Because
stronger and stuff? And then, more to the point, that could have led to some really interesting storylines about him saying that he's Picard and everyone saying, you look nothing like Picard, bioscans don't work. So he's got,
okay,
spend a whole series
Especially
trying to convince
considering,
people.
especially considering how we
it is
had
very
a plot.
stupid.
We had a plot like that already in TNG with Little Rascals.
It's very
Yeah.
stupid that they thought that he would like to look like himself.
And they just
I
happen to
can
have
understand.
a fully ready android body ready to go.
They had this technology where they could, like, they were on a world where they make androids, right? So they made an android body and they downloaded Picard into it.
I hate that series even more.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's Patrick Stewart wanted to do his vanity project, and that's why we have this. And that's why we're talking about any of this. But
Yeah, but
it's just so funny to me, too, because I remember I made this joke at the time on my own show when I was still doing that event. And it's like, okay, you look at the time, I don't remember the exact ages, like Patrick Stewart was at the, this was 6 years ago now. He was in his 70s, right?
early 80s, he's like 87
Well,
now.
now,
Yeah.
but at the time, he was in his 70s. And Shatner was, late 80s, 90s, because Shatner's 11 years older than him. And it's like, you look at Shatner and, he's 11 years older, but he acts and moves and looks like he's 11 years younger.
Yeah, he does.
Like,
Shatner is
Patrick Stewart
very animated.
yeah, whereas Patrick Stewart's very, he's shuffling along. Like, I remember in that first episode, you're watching him, like, dealing with the deadliest foe Picard has ever had to deal with.
So I'm going to tell you something.
No, stairs were the deadliest foe he's ever had to deal
Yeah,
with.
stairs,
Many
my
flights of
natural enemy. That I'm reading, HELPDESK will confirm that while playing NTE, my lungs have been dying.
Oh, I've managed to get Tater into a position where he's laughing so hard he can't breathe. It's very funny to listen to.
Yeah. I have 2 inhalers here. One of them reads, it has 120 pulls. I am down to 60. And that is because of NTE.
It's not my fault.
No,
I mean, okay, some of it is.
but okay. So in Picard, Patrick Stewart aged like milk, right?
Yes.
He grew up with an abusive father who then took his own life. It was only later on, and he had them put this into Picard. It
Yeah.
was only later on where he grew to understand what his father had gone through. And he
Right.
states he does not love, he cannot forgive his father, but he finally understands it. Picard has Stuart, I believe, has like 4 or 5 children and about 7 grandkids, and only one grandchild talks to him.
Ooh, not great.
And all that stress will age you like milk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, William Shatner has kept a much loved family, has a wonderful support
Which
network,
does keep you younger in a
yeah,
way.
and has chosen one of the most beautiful places to live outside in the mountains.
Yeah,
Uh,
as opposed to England.
yeah,
Sorry.
what were you saying?
No, I said as opposed to England. Sorry.
No, you're
Oh
right.
no, it's fine.
The
I mean,
Islamic Republic of England, yeah.
One
fair play to
benefit.
him. Everybody knows that Captain Kirk likes climbing a mountain. Why is he
Yeah,
climbing a mountain?
but it's like
To
their
hug the
lives
mountain.
are completely Stewart and Shatner's lives are completely polar opposite. Shatner's life is all about keeping his faith, keeping his family, everything like that, keeping who he is true, right? He is a true to himself, and it shows on the outside. Like the man likes a
Yeah.
drink.
Him,
So
him, and Chekhov and Spock
yeah,
and
sad,
Fassbender.
sadly, he did. Thanks to George Takei, he didn't speak to Spock for many years.
Yeah, different because of their
Yeah,
During the movie era, they didn't like each other.
that
But
was down to George Takei because George Takei turned around and gave him a phone call,
yeah,
and after that, he didn't speak to Shatner for like 6 years. And then towards the last number of 15, and then towards the last 5 6 years of Leonard Nimoy's life, George Takei stepped in and gave him another phone call, and he didn't speak to him after that, and he doesn't know what the call was about. So
Oy.
he also William Shatner also stated that he did not know George Takei, right? He said you turn around and you go, oh, like at the end of shooting, right? Like they're taking off their uniforms to stand there. He comes out. So, who wants to go to dinner, right? Leonard Nimoy will go, yeah, let's go to this bar downtown. Let's go to this restaurant. Nichelle will go, yeah, let's go, right? They go, they fill themselves in on their lives, like showed each other's children, all this stuff. George Takei go, okay, well, see ya, off to go. Like he said, it was literally a job rather than going making friends. Which is one of the things that nearly got Star Trek TNG cancelled. The crew were not friendly with each other. They, like when they first got there,
Yeah.
Mariana Sortes,
Yeah, Troy.
yeah, she stated that like there'd be days where they'd be in the canteen and she had a paper out and they'd be circling jobs.
Yeah, mind you, some of that was actually down to Gene Roddenberry. He oversaw the first couple of series of TNG, and there was
Yes,
lots of rules in
yeah.
place about what they should and shouldn't do, which is why you don't get any
and
episodes about interpersonal relationships in the first season, because Gene Roddenberry just hated the idea and thought we wouldn't fight in the future. So like, but interpersonal relationships are
No,
things that keep
I've
everyone
seen
going.
the design document. Yeah, it wasn't like that strict. Well, you can't have
Yeah,
interpersonal relationships. It was just he wanted to focus more on the type of stuff that they did with the original show. But the problem is
yeah,
that the characters were written in a way that didn't really mesh well with that same concept. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
absolutely. But he also
Which
stated
is, which
that
is his fault. He wrote those characters, so
people also said
it's a good problem to have. You know,
he
it's a
was
good
really
problem.
hard. Yeah, but he was really hard to work with because he literally go through episode by episode decanonizing moments in episodes. Right? He's like, oh, I don't like this. This isn't canon. That's why when they got the TOS movies, Gene Roddenberry tried to get the TOS show decanonized and said, oh no, we're starting off from the movies. Hence why they
Yeah.
had that weird, stupid uniform.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking about the red uniform. I absolutely love that red
I was
uniform.
gonna say, you better not be because that's a great
No, I'm
uniform.
talking about the motion
The first
picture.
movie, yeah, the motion
Yeah,
picture one,
Yeah.
not great.
that like where you could see every inch
Yeah,
of
it's where you can see the saucer section and in the cells.
exactly.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact. Wait, that's not. I'm not going where you're thinking this, but fun fact: the sets of the Enterprise, right, like towards the later movies, were actually the Enterprise D.
Yep. They started to share a lot of stuff. In Generations, Riker ended up wearing his uniform didn't fit. He got one of the Deep Space Nine style uniforms, but it didn't fit.
Yes,
So he ended up having to wear Cisco's uniform instead. They are not the same height. So
he's
it was
kind
all
of bent over.
yeah. So it's all bunched up and everything. And then who was it? Who was the other one? They ended up wearing Miles O'Brien's.
That was Shorty.
Geordie, yes, which is why it's Geordie is taller than Colm Meaney.
Yeah,
So
Right.
he had to roll the arms up.
actually, Colin Meaney got a special uniform because he's like, no, I'm an engineer. I need to
Yeah.
those things to be hot, so he got a special
He got
uniform
the special one with the cut down the middle and yeah,
and little
with those arms
pockets.
and pockets. I know it's so cool. I love little facts like that because it just makes it makes Star Trek feel so much more lived in.
It
Well,
does.
and that's what's great about it too, because you gotta, everyone always loves to kind of, the 70s aesthetic when it comes to sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm one of those people, where that lived in feeling, like the second, what do they call it? The second-hand rocket look,
absolutely.
like where
Like
everything has grime, like it looks like it's been used.
one of the
Yeah.
guys who worked on Discovery turned around and he said, "I do not like the look of the landing bay, right?" And they wrote in a line and like because of him, oh, this is a brand new ship. What? We're on a it must be top secret. I've never seen one like this, and this is brand new for such a low number, like NCC. Because what do you mean? The landing bay, there's not even a scratch on it, which means that the shuttles haven't been taken off and landing again in the shuttle bay.
Well, that's just because it's also all CGI.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but he was talking like in universe. He said like there's not there's no
Yeah.
scratches on it, so
Yeah.
the shuttles hadn't been taken off and lift and landing because there'd be scratches. Oh, and also in Discovery, they have these little Power Ranger robots that come out and repair everything. That
Oh, those repair bot things. Yeah.
yeah,
Christ.
Go Power Rangers, I guess.
Terrible
pretty
ideas.
fucking much. But which is why I do think, and I do now help us. I've seen your little thing going around. You want to tell us what you've been doing other than John playing Hangman with yourself?
Right, okay. So the first one I did was the first contact timeline because the Borg went back in time to pre NX-01. So they went to the birth of warp travel. That created a completely separate timeline from this one, following the same lines but leaving Borg technology in the past,
Yeah.
which I think created the Discovery timeline.
Okay. So
So because now they have, quicker access to more advanced, even if it's just, space aliens that have blown up. There's
Yeah,
still
there's-
going to be tech there that can be reverse
Works.
engineered. We know that's how that works. And then the other one is Picard, where Q sends them back, and that's basically a complete reset of the universe because it goes back to a point, and then you have the whole thing with the Borg Queen and Jurati,
Yeah.
which became its own weird separate
One.
thing, which meant in the future
The
there was
Watcher at the Gate. Yeah.
so that changed the entire
Actually,
thing,
in
which
Picard, there's
creates
still Borg Queens.
which creates a completely separate timeline again,
Yeah.
because these two could never be mutually exclusive. You couldn't have the First Contact Borg timeline
So
and the Picard
let
timeline,
me
so they
tell you
have to
about
be
Picard.
separate.
In Picard, Jirachi and the Borg Queen merged in the past.
Yes, they do.
Now, in
Of
the
course.
end of what?
Oh yeah, and then she comes back at the end of the last episode and looks like a
Yeah.
potato.
Hey, she doesn't look like me. I'm a cute little kitty cat.
Oh yeah, fair.
But yeah. So, guys. So, Shadows, what do you think
Yeah.
of my theory?
That essentially we've created another, essentially for all intents another continuity, another universe of Star
Multiple
Trek.
continuities. That there's at
Oh,
least
absolutely multiple continuities.
Yeah.
4.
We're
Let's say at
the,
least.
the issue is, and this is why I say when the cutoff date thing in the real world, because
Yeah.
when you look at 1996 to say 2005, or when did the Enterprise end? Could it start with
2004.
Yeah.
2004, 2005. Okay, so from that decade, roughly, right, the 90s and 2000s, you can say, okay, that's a separate timeline.
Mm.
But after that, because after that, the next Star Trek project was the '09 movie, and ignoring all the the Abrams or Abram Boozled movies, you had the STD in 2017, and everything post that. Like that's just its own beast. It's not tied to the original in any way.
Yeah.
It's just selectively pulling things from the original for brand recognition in order to beat you over the head with whatever narrow-minded ideology that they want to beat you over the head with.
Yeah.
So it's that's to me where I'm looking at there is no way to rectify it, right? It's in name only. It doesn't even have the visual aesthetic.
The only way, and in my opinion, this is what I'm saying. You get say for talk's sake, this is how I would fix Star Trek, right? Because we have to go into one last timeline. We have to, right? So you have, let's say, an Andorian chasing a human or something, right? And they're this guy, he looks like he's a criminal. One eye, he's got cybernetics on him, right? And they're running through an alleyway. But at the same time, you have someone from the future who has gone back to the past, save somebody, right?
Right.
One thing, we don't know who it is. It's just save someone, and he goes, "Oh, I hope this saves our future, or changes something big, right?" And as they're there, the Andorian and the human are fighting, and they're just the human pushes the knife into the Andorian's neck, right? As they're fighting, and then you hear boom, right? And the Andorian, she falls forward and she rolls over and she goes, "Sorry, sir. I'll try better next time." Now she's wearing a Starfleet uniform, right? And the human's laughing and it's like, "Come on, Commander. It's time you get your stuff together." And he goes, "Right, so this is us training." And it turns around and the guy with the one eye in cybernetics is now a Starfleet captain. You have a new... Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, right, so it's basically something changed that then altered everything, or is it a simulation?
Yep, prequel problem. Would you like to say, Cast?
Well, this is a broader thing that, again, not unique to Star Trek, like I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
In regards to Star Trek, just because with Star Trek it was done purposely with, again, with First Contact and Enterprise.
Yeah.
But since then, right? Again, I think we're all in agreement. We've established that, First Contact and Enterprise. It's that's for all intents, it's a reboot, but it's a bad reboot. But it's a reboot. It's still Star Trek. It's just bad Star Trek. It's like having this is a bad episode of TNG, but still an episode of TNG.
Yeah.
Whereas everything after that this is just again completely different. Everything.
Yeah.
It's It's
You know,
distanced
like it's
itself.
not a mirror universe, not this. Like it's completely different. And and on top of all that, right? And on top of the, you know, using brand recognition to milk people and charging you more for less, because let's be honest, you know, you're paying a subscription fee to watch what, 8 episodes, 13
8
episodes,
episodes in most cases
Yeah.
now.
versus the 24 you were getting. And I know some people argue, oh,
Yeah.
but you know, it means that more episodes are good and less episodes are bad. And like, I disagree. How many times have we all
You
watched,
don't get
rewatched, and rewatched again?
Yeah.
TNG, let alone TOS.
yeah, you do not get
Yeah.
enough time to know what the characters stand for.
The
You don't
really
It's a bad standard for every show. It works in some cases. Like
Yeah.
if you want to adapt a book, the 8 episode format is perfect. If you're writing a sci-fi TV show, the 8 episode format is essentially a suicide note.
Yeah. What bugs me about all of these 8 episode seasons is if you've gone from 24 to 8, there should be less rubbish because you have to make all the storylines
That's the
tighter so they
argument that I
fit.
hear. That's why I
Yeah.
brought it up, because that's the argument that you hear a lot is, oh, well, it means there's going to be a less bad
So
episode. I'm like,
so
yeah,
what
but then you compare,
yeah. What
like,
happened
okay,
with Starfleet Academy then?
so
well, that's not
Starfleet.
even getting into bad writing. I'm just like, but then let's compare. Let's say you have a show like you know, Orville, right? Like, because Orville's a good show, and
Yeah,
it's more true to Star Trek than modern Star
it is.
Trek, right? The
Yeah.
knockoff is more true to the original. And what season 3 had 10 episodes, which I think is the least amount of episodes of the entire any season of the 3 season show had.
Yeah.
And I would argue, at you know, if you want to go at best, it's pretty much 80% good episodes.
Yeah.
At worst, 60%, like 60 or 70%
Yeah.
good episodes. Like at worst, again,
Yeah.
it's literally 10 episodes. I mean, 6 episodes are good or 8 episodes are good, and it's somewhere in between there.
But no, the reason I mentioned it as far as Trek was concerned was you would expect more good episodes, but
Right, but and that's
as the
was
series went on and on and on, there was
mhm,
less. It's like
right.
the writing was a bit of a failure, but it's also you didn't get any of the character work. I don't know if it's because there was less episodes, the writers decided not to do any sort
I
of
think I
character
think it's a
advancement.
cumulative effect of everything. Like it's the lack of like, first off, the people you're dealing with
Yeah,
are just not like, these are the people that you wouldn't hire. Period.
the
For these types of
the
things.
cheapest ones who would work for the money. Yeah,
So, you know, like people say, like, oh, don't attribute to malice what could be answered by incompetence. I'm like, why can't they be both? They could just be maliciously incompetent.
Okay,
yeah,
so in
But, but with the issue of what was it? Of the episodes being more good ones or more bad ones, right? Like as you said, there should be more
yeah,
good episodes with less episodes. But you know, we established a thing with the Orville. Now let's look at an episode of TNG, right? You know, whether it be season 2 or season 3, like everyone loves season 3. You pretty much have a comparable one there,
yeah.
where it's like, yeah, you know, I'm trying to remember off the head, off the top of my head, I don't remember how many. You know, I
yeah,
would say 70% at most of season 3 is good. 75, maybe, like, you know, half an episode. Like, there's some bad ones here and there, but
Yeah, it
it's like,
was
okay,
definitely
so it's
70 to
comparable.
80%.
Yeah, so it's comparable to Orville,
Yeah,
which means, okay, it's the writing quality rather than the
yeah.
format.
You
So
you get
at
filler
the same
episodes and
time, you
everything.
have more. When you have an episode, though, like 24 episodes, you just have more episodes, right? You have more
yeah.
time. You have more room
Yeah,
to do things, and that's kind of the
But what we don't get in like the likes of fucking shit Discovery and things like that, right? We don't get logic, if that makes sense. Like
no, and nothing there is logical. It's all
yeah,
there,
emotion.
yeah, but it's not even real emotion. For like they go a thousand
Soap
years in the
opera.
a thousand years in the future, right? And like Tilly is crying because, which makes sense, because her family are all dead. And Michael Burnham cheers her up by going, "I remember your mom used to make this cake. You can always have cake. cake is real. And she's like, yeah, cake is real. You don't have anyone stand there and it's like, what is it? And he goes, well, I had children back home. What happened to them?
Doesn't matter. You've got cake.
Yeah, well, like it's like fuck your cake. Like where, what happened to you? You wouldn't have like say when
Yeah.
they get to the Federation and it's like look up computer, yeah, look up Jason Tobos, born Mercury Station 22 like 85, whatever
Well,
year,
mm,
and just go track his. It goes show me what, and he it says like what it goes. Like say you see someone in the guy's room and it's like what is it? He goes he looks like my dad, like when he's old and he's there and like just touching the hologram when he's looking at his son as an old
because
man.
it's written by
People who don't
I'm trying
care.
I'm trying not to swear. It's
No.
written by
Oh,
children,
you can swear.
not
You
by
can,
literal. Well, no, not because of YouTubers. I
yeah,
try not to swear more in general.
yeah.
Um, but it's written by just emotionally immature children that are you know
Nihilists.
between
It
30 to 60. But
was it.
the
Sorry, was it Trey Parker who he did a whole chat on how to do writing for stuff, and he said the trap everyone falls into is and then writing. It's sort of like we do this and then we do that and then we do that, and it becomes one of the most boring stories
Oh,
ever
it's
because it just
okay.
plods
So
along.
we just got a 30-minute warning before it cuts off. Oh no.
Oh, that'd be
okay.
fun. And then, but then there's the alternative, which is the but now story writing. It's sort of like we have done this, but now this
I've
is
never
happening
even looked
because
at
of
it
it.
as an either or thing there. I mean, yeah, you
Yeah,
never do the and then 'cause that's like again, it's a child, right? Like in you and
yeah,
your friends as 5-year-olds are playing and going, oh, and then this happened, and then like
yeah.
that's which is fine for when you're 5 years old, but not so much when you're in your 50s. Um,
I saw someone reviewing all the current Star Trek, right? And he said, "There's two things I have never seen in current Star Trek people saying. Say what? I believe, I think, I feel. It's
I know.
we
you know
Yeah,
what's
believe."
so funny that you said that? Because one of the first time, one of the things I was thinking when you just said "I believe" is how many times have you heard Data, like of all the characters, Data,
Ah,
go, "I believe it," and then whatever plot relevant thing he says.
yeah,
yeah.
Like he'll be searching something and then he'll like have that pause, like he's computing, and go, "I believe it has to do with like that type of."
yeah. But you know,
I'd argue it's even you and I talked about this last
yeah.
year. I mean, it's not just the lack of "I believe" or the and then this happens and then this happens. There's also it's not cause and effect storytelling, which hey, that was an episode of TNG as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. Yeah.
good episode, and it's also the why is humanity constantly being crapped on? Like the
Because
writers clearly have a diminished view of humanity, which means you're not suited to write sci-fi. Period, regardless of whether it's Star Trek or what.
Yeah.
so in previous Star Trek, Starfleet is who we could be. Starfleet is who we should strive to be. We could
Yeah.
be, right? This is
That was one of the main reasons why they had Michelle Nichols on the bridge, and
yeah.
that whole episode with Abraham Lincoln,
Yeah,
where he calls her a ingress and worries he's offended her, and she said, "It's just words. We've grown past that."
yeah. Like and that was Kirk going like, "We've grown past that," and all,
Yeah.
like it. And that's not even a unique thing to that one episode. It's just
Yeah.
like one of my favorite
Every
episodes of Star Trek. I will never shut up about this episode.
Raven.
Was no, the, sorry,
Carry
the
on.
Taste of Armageddon.
Yeah.
Choose not to kill today. Like just that, like because that's the whole thing is that the show and the writers, Gene Roddenberry and all his crew,
Yeah.
and obviously all the people working for him later on too,
Yeah.
truly knew that yeah, you have to in order to write good sci-fi, you need to understand human beings and be optimal with like optimistic with human beings,
Yeah.
One
Even
I
even though that was very very difficult.
even through sort of like Ira Stephen Bear doing TNG and Deep Space Nine, you could see that there was knowledge in the writing. It's sort of like there was lots of sort of like personal touches that went
Yeah,
into the stories. You
Yeah.
can look at other franchises. You look at something like Babylon 5, and it's the same thing. J. Michael Straczynski did absolutely fantastic work. He was a hell of a wordsmith.
Jonathan Glassner with Stargate SG-1, same thing.
yeah. In
Exactly.
Stargate, there is when they got stuck on on the Odyssey ship, right? Towards the end, when they were
Odyssey ship. What
yeah
season is it?
10,
Okay.
when they were there, they were sitting in this closet, right? And they were eating ice cream. And Tilk does not like pistachios, right? But he looks down at one of the ice creams and it's pistachios, and he looks over beside him at and this is just in the background, right?
Does like donuts though.
What?
I said he does like donuts.
Yeah,
Sorry.
oh yeah, he
Oh, my
does.
different episode.
But he looks over and someone is eating chocolate ice cream, right? And while they're like trying to figure out like what we're doing with the time dilation and everything, he puts his hand, takes their chocolate ice cream out of their hand, puts the pistachios into their hand, and starts eating the chocolate ice cream. Like it's just
It's character work.
That's different to the what I was getting at. I'm talking about more
Yeah.
like you have to understand human beings as human beings, as creatures, versus nuance in like human interactions. Like you're talking about the interpersonal
Yeah.
interactions and like the fun moments where like you built up these characters, you've set this foundation with this character and that character that you can then have those moments.
But
Yeah.
in the likes of TNG, everyone is like, "Oh, where's Michael Burnham? We need Michael Burnham." And
You mean STD, not TNG.
yeah, STD, that bullshit. So I noticed something at the end of a STD, right? And this is some real bullshit. Everybody is grouped. Like everyone is in their own little groups. You have the the black couple, you have the gay couple, you have the fat one.
Hang on. Are you telling me it's so inclusive it segregates everyone?
Literally, I'll show you
Yeah.
after the end of it.
Oh,
right?
please no.
No. It's just a picture at the end of the bridge, right? When they're all standing there together, looking out optimistically. Everyone is in their own little groups.
Oh, dear God.
Also, another thing. You can name a Star Trek show, and you can name the bridge officers. Not only that, you can tell where they sat, right?
It's not even that. It's not even just tell where they sat, but it's like, okay, TOS, and I'm probably first thinking, I'm sorry, Captain, I can't do it. Like you'd literally be able to say lines.
Yeah.
Even if it's a cheesy caricature line, right? Like beam me up, Scotty, or something like that. It's at least you can tell, okay, character name, where they sit on the bridge, and a line that they say frequently in the show.
Harry Kim, I'm going to die. Where's my rank? Like I'm.
Yeah,
an
the whole
ensign.
joke about Harry Kim not being anything more than an ensign, that went on for so long. It is something that he leans into now.
Yeah, but then again, like one of the funniest members of thing of Tuvok is Tuvok says Vulcans can stay awake for 10 days. We don't really need sleep, right? When they were out, I forget who they were looking for. And he's on the night shift, and he's like, "Don't worry, Vulcans can stay awake for 10 days without sleep. We're not like weak humans." They're talking, and then a few minutes later, you hear, and they look and they turn around, and Tuvok is asleep in the captain's chair. Do you remember that one?
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's like
I'll have
just
to look that one up.
yeah. Tuvok falls asleep on the bridge.
Oh,
But
I'll have to find
also,
that.
one of Tuvok's best character moments is when he gets his emotion chips and he turns into a psychopath.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of the reasons why the problem I have with Voyager has nothing to do with like continuity things. It's more so
Voyager-
just a case of inconsistent writing.
Voyager uses continuity like a skip rope.
Yeah.
They got up. I think the show benefited again from being like so self-contained as a series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
There's a
it's
fantastic
definitely-
video I've seen about Voyager continuity where they talk about how many torpedoes they have.
Oh my god, me and you had a diss chat as
It's
well.
it was sort of like they get to
But
the
because
Delta
where are they
Quadrant.
refilling torpedoes?
Yeah, they get to the
Yeah.
Delta Quadrant with, was it 29 photon torpedoes and 10 quantum torpedoes, and by the time they get home, they've fired sort of like 60 of each.
Oh, we forgot. Prodigy.
No,
On the
that's
No,
not
we
timeline.
that's not real Star Trek.
no, you
Listen,
say we
that
forgot as
we
though we
didn't
were
forget. It was
remembering it at the
terrible.
beginning.
Yeah,
Look,
we've
Prodigy,
forgotten
I'm just
Section
saying.
31. We've forgotten Starfleet Academy.
Oh,
None of it
Christ.
matters.
No, Section 31 takes place in the future, sir.
Does it take place in the future? I thought that was. Hang on,
Oh
wait a
god,
minute.
I
Is it in
don't
the
know when
future?
Section 31
You
takes
guys
place.
know more than I do on this one.
No, Section 31 takes place before Enterprise B, because the Kate Garraway,
That's the Enterprise seat.
Enterprise C. Yeah, but she's in Section 31 before she joined Starfleet. So
Yeah.
so it's in the past. That's pre.
I will slap you with a
PMB
fish,
post
sir.
TOS.
Hang on, that'd be pre TOS.
Okay,
Because of
hold
the time
on.
travel.
We're
Free
bringing that.
PMB
We're
post
bringing
TOS.
that up. Help desk.
Yeah, that's.
This is for you.
Put it down.
That's
Yeah.
your
Anyway,
Twit.
I guess to get back on track with both the Star Trek thing and like in the why the writing and why like there's
Yeah.
like the format at the end of the day, like Orville proved that the format can work, even though we may not like. I think it's better to have the traditional 24 episodes.
Yeah.
But at least like I think the reason why it worked for the Orville was just because had they done 24 episodes, you would have gotten something that looked more like. Well, no, I mean like visually looked worse because they spent all that time and budget on making it look better for the 10 episodes rather than 20.
Yeah.
Which I can understand, respect, and it did look good. I do prefer season 2 designs over season 3 in some cases, like the shuttle. But yeah, it's definitely
It is.
just a writing thing because I mean, among other things. But okay, you have all these writers that just have this diminished view of humanity, like this nihilistic view.
They do, but
And
they're all
the whole point of Star Trek is literally to be optimistic,
Yeah.
but
nihilists.
realistic, optimistic but realistic, right?
But you look at the actors and everything; they're all nihilists, and they all fit into little boxes, and they're all instead of being like proper way is if they wanted like true diversity at all, you'd have a liberal captain, like a liberal first officer, conservative captain, right? I'm just saying,
Uh,
like
I mean,
that way.
I wouldn't go. And honestly, the whole diversity shouldn't even be a word like, that we're even using in this context anymore. Because let's
It
was
doesn't
it even
work.
used in Star Trek? Like, I mean, yes, in the original show because it was 1966. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, you know, but first off, they weren't even using it that way. Yes, they decided to put her on the bridge for that, but it wasn't like, oh, we're gonna make a big deal out of it. The whole reason it worked is
yes,
because they didn't make a big deal out of it.
no,
That's
and
why. It's why.
Guinan,
They treated it
It's
as
why they added.
it's the what do they call it? The not gaslighting or like the whole like that happened whatever trope that has been
Yeah.
popularized where like you point out that something is silly.
yeah, guys,
It's the
we need
it's
to
like
wrap
in
up.
the X-Men movie, the original X-Men movie,
Yeah.
when they're making fun of the comic book costumes
The coloured
in the
spandex.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the yellow and blue and yellow spandex and whatever. And it's like when you're making fun of the thing that it is, like you don't care. Why should I, as the
No,
audience? Especially when I'm a fan of the thing that you're making fun of.
hold on.
Exactly.
So we need to wrap up because
Yeah,
my
we're
recording
gonna.
changed colors. So, Cass, what you doing, buddy?
Well, development continues. Currently going to need test. If anyone's interested in tabletop gaming, I'll be needing play testers in like a month or two.
Reach out to Goat. I'll
Yes,
reach
I
out
already
for
did.
you.
Yep.
Awesome.
No, I already. We're in good contact already. So,
Oh, good.
uh, yeah. But pretty much that's what's going on there.
Help
We
desk, what are
finally
you doing?
established a YouTube channel for it. But
Awesome, awesome. We will definitely shoot it out and like have you up here for it. Help desk, what about you, buddy? What are you doing?
Got a few bits coming up. We're going to do our normal streaming, bit of NTE, maybe a bit of TFD. I've got a new podcast which we're going to be playing around with, so hopefully that'll be coming up very shortly. So please join us for that. Taylor, what have you
Absolutely.
got? What have you got coming up?
Yeah.
Oh God, I've got it on a board. We've got Beverly Hills 1. Then we've got we're going to be talking about, like, over the next couple of weeks. We're going to be talking about the Beverly Hills movies. We're going to be talking about speculation.
Two.
Say what?
You said there's only two.
4's good. I'll fight you on that. We'll be talking about each of the Beverly Hills movies. We'll be doing testing at the Tangent stream. We'll be talking about Stargate. We'll be talking about Project Hail Mary. We'll be talking about and K-pop Demon Hunter. I will pay many chicken nuggets to see HELPDESK dance.
Ooh, I forgot to mention. I mentioned it earlier, but that letter, the letter to the Ellison, so that we can at least let as a fan base, like the whole point is we want to have signatures for it so that we can let the people in charge know, hey, fire all of these people, hire, give recommendations, maybe, like however we structure it. The idea is that let the customers letting the production company or manufacturer in this case, whatever, no, this is what we want. We want this product to be good. We want it to be like this. It's not like this right now. Like, essentially customer complaint, but after 40 years of being screwed over.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to wrap this up here. Thank you, people who will be watching this in the future. Thank you, Cast in the Shadows, for coming back, and thank you, HELPDESK, for staying up late. Even though I know that he will be hit with a fish in the morning by me. Okay, good night, everyone, and